The Young and the Restless spoilers Victor's quest for the truth. Unveiling Claire's past. Victor Newman was a man who thrived on control, power, and absolute clarity. In Genoa City, nothing escaped his attention, especially when it involved his family. So, when questions began swirling around Claire and her true intentions with the Newman family, Victor's instincts kicked into overdrive. For Victor, ambiguity was unacceptable. He would uncover the truth about Claire, no matter the cost. The return of Cole and Victoria. Victor's plan began with a calculated decision, bringing Cole Howard back into the fold. Cole, Victoria's ex-husband, had a long history with the Newman family, and Victor knew he was one of the few people who might hold the key to Claire's past. While the idea of reuniting Victoria and Cole was delicate and potentially volatile, Victor framed it as a chance for Victoria to rekindle an old connection, a reunion that could benefit both her and their daughter, Claire. However, Victor's motives were far from sentimental. He believed Cole knew something significant about Claire's origins, and Victor wasn't above using emotional manipulation to extract the information he needed. Victoria, eager to protect her daughter and maintain the fragile harmony within the Newman family, reluctantly agreed to her father's suggestion. She believed Victor's intentions were genuine, unaware that his true goal was to uncover the secrets she refused to share. Claire's unease and growing hostility. As Victor's investigation deepened, Claire began to sense the scrutiny directed at her. Though she had always maintained a composed and confident demeanor, the cracks in her facade began to show. Victor's probing into her past, combined with his subtle yet relentless interrogations, left her more defensive and volatile than ever. Her behavior didn't go unnoticed. Chance Chancellor, who had been secretly tasked by Victor to investigate, observed Claire's growing agitation. To him, her reactions only added fuel to Victor's suspicions. If Claire had nothing to hide, why was she so tense? Claire lashed out at those closest to her, especially Victoria, accusing her mother of not doing enough to shield her from Victor's relentless prying. "You don't trust me, do you?" Claire demanded during one heated argument. "You're just like him, you think I'm lying about something." Victoria, torn between her loyalty to her father and her love for her daughter, tried to reassure Claire. But Victor's influence was impossible to ignore, and his doubts had planted seeds of uncertainty even in Victoria's mind. The secret DNA test. Victor, unwilling to rely solely on hearsay or personal convictions, decided to take matters into his own hands. He approached Chance with a direct and discreet order: obtain DNA samples from Claire and Victoria to confirm once and for all if Claire was truly a Newman. Chance hesitated. He knew this was a delicate and potentially explosive request, one that could shatter the fragile bonds within the Newman family. But Victor's authority was absolute, and Chance owed him enough favors to know refusal wasn't an option. Using his connections and expertise, Chance orchestrated the collection of the samples. It was a risky operation, but one executed with precision and care to avoid suspicion. The samples were sent to a private lab, with Victor insisting on complete confidentiality. Victoria's defiance. When Victoria caught wind of Victor's actions, her fury was immediate and unrestrained. She confronted her father in his office, her voice trembling with anger. "How dare you?" she demanded. "You don't get to question whether Claire is my daughter. I told you the truth, and that should be enough." Victor remained calm, his piercing eyes locking onto his daughter's. "Victoria, this is not about doubting you. It's about clarity. If Claire is truly a Newman, she deserves to be protected, and I will ensure that. But if there's any question about her origins, I won't stand by and risk this family being blindsided." "She's my daughter, Dad," Victoria insisted. "And I will not let you treat her like a threat." Victor's expression softened, but his resolve remained unshaken. "I'm not treating her like a threat, Victoria. I'm protecting this family. And one day, you'll understand that." Victor's suspicion, the bigger picture. Victor wasn't just concerned about whether Claire was biologically related to the Newman family, he was also deeply suspicious of her motives. Her increasing hostility and secrecy only fueled his belief that she might be hiding something. What was she planning? Why was she so resistant to his efforts to dig into her past? Victor's sharp mind considered all possibilities. If Claire wasn't truly a Newman, what was her agenda? Was she a pawn in someone else's scheme to infiltrate the family? Or was she acting on her own, targeting the Newman empire for reasons yet unknown? The truth will out. Victor's careful and methodical approach to uncovering the truth was as relentless as ever. He knew that the DNA results would only be part of the puzzle. Whether Claire was biologically a Newman or not, her behavior and intentions would still need to be scrutinized. Victor was a man who thrived on information and strategy, and he wasn't about to let anyone, even his own family, stand in the way of his pursuit of the truth. Claire's resistance, Victoria's defiance, and even Cole's possible involvement were all pieces of a larger game Victor was determined to win. The fallout when the DNA results finally arrived, they would either confirm or refute Victoria's claims, and with them, determine the next course of action. But regardless of the outcome, one thing was certain: Victor Newman would never stop until he had every answer, every fact, and every angle of this mystery laid bare. As Claire's past unraveled, the Newman family braced for the consequences. Would Victor's actions tear them apart? Or would his investigation ultimately save them from a threat they hadn't even realized was looming? One thing was clear: in Genoa City, secrets never stayed buried for long. And Victor Newman always found the truth. Let me know if you'd like to delve deeper into Claire's motives, the DNA test results, or how this impacts the Newman family dynamics. Victor's revelation, navigating the truth about Claire. Victor Newman wasn't easily rattled. A man of unparalleled foresight and relentless determination, he always prepared for the unexpected. Yet, as he stared at the DNA test results in his hand, even he had to take a moment to process what they confirmed. Claire was not biologically Victoria's daughter. This revelation, though anticipated, was not without consequences. Victor's instincts had been correct: there was more to Claire's presence in the Newman family than met the eye. Now, he faced the delicate challenge of addressing the truth while maintaining his daughter's trust and keeping his family intact. A father's dilemma: how to tell Victoria. Victor understood his daughter well. Victoria was fiercely independent and protective, especially when it came to Claire. She had invested emotionally in the girl, wanting to provide her with stability and love. For Victoria, Claire represented not just a relationship but a chance to nurture and heal parts of herself. Victor's challenge wasn't just to convince Victoria of the truth, but to do so without alienating her. If handled poorly, the revelation could drive a wedge between them, a risk Victor was unwilling to take. The confrontation: Victor invited Victoria to his office, where the atmosphere was tense but calm. He decided to start with a gentle approach, knowing that a direct confrontation would only trigger her defensiveness. "Victoria," he began, his tone measured and deliberate, "I've always trusted your instincts. I know you've done everything in your power to protect Claire and give her the life she deserves. But I also know you value honesty, as do I." Victoria narrowed her eyes, sensing where this was going. "If this is about Claire, Dad, I've already told you, she's my daughter. That's all that matters." Victor took a deep breath, his expression softening. "Sweetheart, I wish it were that simple. But I had to be certain. For the family, for you, and for Claire herself." He handed her the DNA test results, his hand steady as he waited for her reaction. Victoria's reaction: Victoria scanned the document, her expression hardening as she read the confirmation that Claire was not her biological daughter. She slammed the paper onto Victor's desk, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and sadness. "You went behind my back," she accused. "You had no right." "I had every right," Victor replied firmly. "This family has been through too much to let secrets fester. I needed to know the truth, Victoria, for all of us." Tears welled up in Victoria's eyes, but she refused to let them fall. "So, what now? You want me to send her away? Pretend she doesn't exist?" "She's my daughter, Dad. Maybe not by blood, but in every way that matters." Victor's voice softened, but his resolve remained clear. "I don't want to take her away from you, Victoria. I understand why you've embraced her as your own. But I need to know, can she be trusted? Is she here because she truly wants to be part of this family, or is there another reason? Victoria's inner struggle. Though Victoria lashed out in anger, part of her new Victor was right to question Claire's motives. Deep down, she had harbored her own doubts but had pushed them aside in favor of building a relationship with Claire. She had wanted so badly to believe that love and acceptance were enough to overcome any obstacles. But now, faced with undeniable proof, she was forced to confront the truth she had been avoiding. Claire wasn't her daughter, and she might not even be the person Victoria thought she was. I just want a chance to have a normal relationship with her, Victoria said quietly, her voice breaking. Can't we give her that? Victor leaned forward, his expression filled with both compassion and determination. We can, but we need to be careful. Love isn't enough, Victoria, not if there's a risk she could betray us. I've seen too many people come into this family with hidden agendas, and I won't let that happen again. Victor's strategy to prevent Claire from feeling cornered while still keeping a close eye on her, Victor decided to take a more strategic approach. He would allow Victoria to maintain her bond with Claire but insisted on setting boundaries to protect the family. We'll give her a chance to prove herself, Victor said. But I want full transparency. If she steps out of line, if there's even a hint that she's working against us, we act immediately. Agreed? Victoria hesitated but nodded reluctantly. Fine. But she deserves a fair chance, Dad. She's been through a lot. Victor didn't argue. He knew that earning Victoria's cooperation was critical to keeping the family unified. Claire's next move meanwhile, Claire, unaware of the DNA test results but sensing the growing tension, became increasingly irritable and defensive. She could feel the weight of Victor's scrutiny and the unspoken doubts in Victoria's eyes. Her behavior only heightened Victor's suspicions. What was Claire hiding? Did she have an ulterior motive for ingratiating herself with the Newman family, or was she simply a girl trying to find her place in the world? Victor intended to find out, one way or another. Victor's watchful eye. Victor enlisted Chance to continue monitoring Claire discreetly, gathering information on her past and current actions. He didn't want to jump to conclusions, but knew that staying ahead of any potential threats was essential. As the days passed, Victor maintained his usual composure, treating Claire with guarded politeness while keeping his findings close to his chest. He wasn't ready to reveal the full truth to Claire or the rest of the family, not until he had every piece of the puzzle. The road ahead. Victor Newman's pursuit of clarity and control was far from over. The revelation about Claire's parentage had opened a Pandora's box of questions, but it had also reinforced his determination to protect his family at all costs. For Victoria, the challenge was balancing her love for Claire with the harsh realities her father had uncovered. Could she continue to embrace Claire as her daughter, knowing the truth? And could she forgive Victor for uncovering the secrets she had worked so hard to hide? As the Newman family grappled with the fallout, one thing was certain: Victor would not rest until the full truth about Claire and her intentions was revealed. And in Genoa City, the truth had a way of coming out, no matter how deeply it was buried.